Hey everybody, real quick, I wanted to provide you this video message on the closure of what we just did in lab and also things that are coming up in our class. Unfortunately, I spent a little bit too much time today introducing chapter 4 and not a lot of time on some of the assignments that are coming up, but I wanted to use this message to communicate that with you. Now we will have a little bit on Monday at the trail. We'll have plenty of time there to discuss some of this, but since we're not in an academic setting, I wanted to send this message as more or less of a reminder. So let me go back to today's variety of cardio lab, which was the cardio intensity lab, which was really great. It was nice to see all of you working really hard today, getting those heart rates up at varying levels. I wanted to go to page 15. I'm actually using the winter handbook, so I apologize if I'm off a page. But looking at the cardio intensity lab on page 15, I want you to turn to the back page on number 16. And look at there, it says, it discusses what's called the Borg scale. This is also known as a rate of perceived exertion scale, or an RPE. And in this RPE scale, you can see levels of aerobic exertion. So this is only used during aerobic work. So like when you're going for a run, if you're on a bike, if you're doing elliptical trainer, or anything that is aerobic related. So let's say right now you're watching this video message and you're fairly relaxed. Your level of exertion between 6 and 20 is probably at 6. But when you were exercising today, you were anywhere between 10 and 16. These things correlate with a 6-second heart rate. So if you take your heart rate right now for 6 seconds, I'm guessing it's between a 5, 6, or a 7, which means your heart rate at rest is a 50, 60, or 70, somewhere in there. When you're exercising, if you're on this RPE scale of 10 to 16, your heart rate is probably somewhere between 100 and 160. So you can see how this scale connects with heart rate. So you can also, I'll say, guesstimate what your heart rate may be upon exercise. So today when you were working really hard and you were looking at your watch and you're seeing a heart rate of 140 to 160 beats, and you're exercising at some mysterious intensity, and psychologically you can start to hone in on where you're at intensity-wise and how your body connects with that via heart rate. So it's a nice way to start to dial in on the subjectivity of the numbering of what the watch is telling you. In any case, we'll talk more about that next week on Wednesday. Again, Monday we are meeting at the trail at 10:10. If you need a ride, I'll be happy to give you a ride. But I will plan to see you on the east end of the trail next to the boat launch. You have my number, so if you get lost, please just send me a text. I also noticed that in the syllabus, our quiz opens today. And so you have 1 week to complete that quiz, which will be a really nice thing to review this chapter and take this quiz. And I believe the quiz covers chapters 1 through 4. And so you can look online, you can start taking that quiz on Canvas, and you have a week to take it. You can take it as many times as you'd like, and you're going to get the highest score that you get. So if you have any issues with the quiz, just shoot me a message, but you have 1 week to take it, and that begins today, and it concludes next week at the start of class on Wednesday. And speaking of Wednesday, not only is the quiz due next Wednesday, but also you have what's called a comprehensive lab that is also due. So if you look in your lab handbook at the variety of cardio lab, we are actually going to be doing that at a later time. But turn to the next page on page 19, and you'll notice right in here the summary of cardio. And what this is that's what I call my comprehensive aerobic lab. So of all the aerobic work we've done in class, of the aerobic discussions that we've had in class, I want you to, and from the textbook, because really, quite frankly, we'll have only had one true lecture on aerobic fitness. So really a lot of your content's going to come probably from the textbook and anything that was also discussed in class today. So from those two things and Monday's lab, this Monday at the trail, what have you learned? Okay, so you're going to want to answer, what have you learned through these, through these what's called physiological adaptations, and on the other side is, long-term gains. If you were to adopt an aerobic training plan into your training regimen, what would be the physiological benefits, and what kind of goals could you set for those, I'll say, those physiological adaptations. What does physiological adaptation simply mean? It means bodily adaptations, bodily changes. So physiological adaptation to aerobic fitness would be the improvement of blood pressure, resting blood pressure. That's one. There are several others, and you got to go find them. If you guys have any questions at all, I want you to feel free to shoot me an email through Canvas. And if you plan on meeting Christina and I tomorrow at 10:30 on the east end of Lacamas Trail, she was hoping to do some sort of interval training. So we'll probably warm up for a mile and do maybe 3 or 4 400s, something like that. Really, really simple stuff. So if you guys are interested at all, shoot me a text, and we will definitely wait for you at 10:30. Should be a great day. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and let me know if you have any questions.